So yesterday we discussed, in the last class we discussed about house property. Now we will talk about business or profession. Let me just recapitulate everything. Salary we discussed completely, then discussed about house property. So what is house property? How it is taxed? How to calculate tax on house property. Now we will discuss about business. How to calculate from business or profession. What is business? Let us first understand what is business. So the definition of business in Income Tax Act is inclusive definition. So what, like we discussed a lot many times, there are three type of definition: inclusive, exclusive, and exhaustive. So this is an inclusive definition. That means what you know about business, what I know about business is business. What everyone knows about business is also business. But what we will tell, that is also business. So business includes trade, commerce, manufacture, or adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacture. So business includes trade, commerce, manufacture, or adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacture. So whatever you do, if you are doing something in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacture, is business. What is profession? Because this is a combined head for business or profession. So whatever you know about business, whatever I know about business is business, but this is also business. So anything which is trade, commerce, or manufacture, or in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacture is business. What is profession? Profession or vocation that calls for an intellectual or manual skill. For example, I am a professional because I am using my intellectual or manual skills for earning. So any profession or any vocation that calls for an intellectual or manual skill is profession. For example, doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants, consulting engineers, artists, musicians, singers, etc. What business or profession? Whatever income you earn from business or profession is included in this head of income. Now, so we talked about what all incomes are included. Now we will talk about what all deductions are allowed from the income of business or profession. Number one, all legitimate business expenditure, all legitimate, whatever expenditure you do for business, and that is legitimate expenditure, not every expenditure. You cannot include bribe in the deductions because you might have paid bribe to someone for starting your business, for doing your business, or for anything related to business. That expense is not allowed in business or profession to calculate the income because that's not a legitimate expenditure. So all legitimate expenditure of business are allowed, including. So what all are included? So including means all legitimate business expenditure are allowed. These are also allowed. Rent, any rent paid for business, for premises. So any premises you have taken on rent, any rate of any tax you have paid on the premises, any repairs you have done for the premises, any insurance you have taken for the premises of business. For business is very compulsory thing. If it is not for business, it's not allowed. Suppose you have paid rent for your home, not allowed. You have paid repairs. You have paid expenses of repairs for your home, not allowed. You have paid insurance premium for your home, not allowed. Only for business premises. Repairs and insurance of machinery, plant or furniture for business. Remember, it's very necessary that everything should be for business. So whatever machinery you have purchased for business, plant or furniture, if you do any repairs or insurance premium you pay for anything of out of three, it's allowed. Depreciation on building, machinery, plant, furniture. So all assets you purchase for the business, depreciation is allowed. What is depreciation? It's the reduction in value every year by year due to uses or wear and tear. For example, I am using this laptop from last 2-3 years. So naturally, I purchased it for 50,000. Now, if I go to sell it, it won't get more than 30,000 or more than 20,000. So this is what the reduction in value due to time, due to wear and tear, due to uses, that is called depreciation. Revenue expenditure on scientific research. I might have to do some research for my business. Any scientific research or maybe other research I do, any revenue expenditure is also allowed. Capital expenditure is also allowed on scientific research related to business, except land. On land, it's not allowed. Preliminary expenses in relation to formation of a company or in connection with extension of an undertaking or setting up of a new industrial unit. So any preliminary expenses I do, what is preliminary expenses? Any expenses I do to set up the business. So any expenses which I am incurring before start of the business, before start of company, before extension of my company or any unit or any undertaking, the preliminary, anything before starting is preliminary. So any preliminary expenses I do even before starting, that is also allowed. Insurance expenses. Any insurance I take for the purpose of business, that is also allowed. Any insurance premium I pay for health of my employees, because employees are for business and I'm paying insurance premium on their health, so that is also allowed. Bonus or commission to employees is naturally an allowed expenditure. Interest on borrowed capital. I borrowed some loan. I borrowed some loan from bank or someone and I'm paying interest for that. So that loan is for business. So the interest is definitely is an allowed expenditure. Any contribution towards approved provident fund, superannuation fund, or gratuity fund. So I might have to do some contribution for the purpose of my business, for my employees. It is also allowed. Now, in business, naturally, bad debts are always there. I might lose some money from my debtors. I've sold some goods to someone for 1 lakh rupees. Now the debtor is not paying me. He has denied for that expenditure. Now that is known as bad debts. The debts which are bad, which are not giving me the money. I have given them some money, some goods, some services, but they are not paying me. So whatever I written off in my books, whatever I write off, I clear them without getting the money from them. That is known as bad debts. That is also allowed. Advertisement expenditure is fully allowed as deduction. However, if I do advertisement in a political party brochure, pamphlet or souvenir, that is not allowed at deduction, because in India business and politics cannot be together. You cannot simply donate or give amount to political party for advertisement. You can give to any normal newspaper, but not to a political party. So if you give advertisement in a political party's brochure, pamphlet or souvenir, it's not allowed. It's not allowed as deduction. Any other expenditure, which is now very important, which is not of capital nature or personal expense of assessee. So every expenditure is allowed, but it should not be of capital nature. It should not be personal nature. Now, what is capital nature? Capital nature means something, something which of which use or benefit would accrue over a period of time, more than 1 year. For example, I purchased one laptop. Now this laptop, will I be able to use it for 1 year or more than 1 year? Naturally, more than 1 year. Now, anything of which benefit would accrue over a period of time. So this laptop will give me benefit over 2, 3 or 5 years, not in just 1 year. I would be able to use it for 5 or 10 years. That's a capital nature expenditure. So anything of which uses or benefit will accrue over a period of time more than 1 year is capital expenditure, and it is not allowed. It is not allowed to deduct. Suppose I have earned a profit of 10 lakh rupees and I purchased a laptop of 1 lakh. I will have to pay tax on 10 lakh. I cannot deduct this 1 lakh. But we studied one thing, depreciation is allowed. So it's a machinery for me because I'm a chartered accountant and I'm using my laptop for providing my services. It's a machinery for me. So depreciation is allowed on this laptop. So this laptop will not be allowed as deduction directly, but it will be allowed as deduction indirectly in form of depreciation. Capital nature expenditure is not allowed. Instead, depreciation is allowed. Similarly, personal expense is not allowed. I purchased one car for my personal use. I'm using it for my personal use only. It's not allowed. Neither depreciation allowed nor that capital expenditure is allowed. So personal expenses naturally cannot be allowed. Only expenditure which are expended wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business or profession is allowed. Suppose I purchased one mobile for my business purpose, which is used only by my employees for the purpose of calling to my clients. Since it's an expenditure wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business, it's allowed. Now, the third condition is it should not be for the purpose which is offense or prohibited by any law. For example, bribe. I'm applying for a license to do my business. Now for getting the license, I have to pay maybe some bribe to someone. So that bribe is not allowed as an expenditure because that is an offense or prohibited by law. Giving bribe is offense. It's prohibited by law. It's not allowed expenditure. This is what business expenditure which are allowed in a business. So let me recapitulate everything. So what all deductions are allowed? All legitimate business expenditure including rent, rates, taxes, repairs, insurance of business or profession premises, current repairs and insurance of machinery, plant, furniture, depreciation on building, machinery, plant or furniture, revenue expenditure on scientific research, capital expenditure on scientific research related to business except land, preliminary expenses in relation to formation of a company or in connection with extension of an undertaking or setting up of a new industrial unit, insurance expenses, insurance premium on health of employees, bonus or commission to employees, interest on borrowed capital, contribution towards approved provident fund, superannuation fund, gratuity fund. Bad debts in respect of income considered in previous year can be written off and allowable as deduction. Advertisement expenditure is allowed. However, advertisement in any souvenir, brochure or pamphlet of political party is not allowed as deduction. Any other expenditure which is not of capital nature or not of personal nature, wholly and exclusive for the purpose of business or profession and not for the purpose which is an offense or prohibited by law, is all the expenses which are allowed as deduction. So now, till now, if there are any queries, you can ask me. Now, next is depreciation, section 32. So depreciation is itself is a topic. Someone has written D. Uh, can you please write your query clearly? Someone has written D. I didn't get what you want to ask. So someone is asking me a query related to examination, like if he fails in part 1 examination, can he give exam again in July? So I am actually not sure about this query. First is whether you are asking about CAT or about CMA, because in CAT I have no idea about the CAT because I have not cleared CAT exam. So I have no idea about CAT exam, whether part 1, part 2 or what. If you are asking about CMA, oh, that can be something different. But in CAT, I have absolutely no idea. So please do not ask me the examination related queries. Now, depreciation. So depreciation is diminution in value of asset. I told you just few minutes back. So depreciation is diminution in the value of asset, the reduction in value of asset due to wear and tear, due to obsolescence or any other reason, because every asset's value depreciates. Whatever you purchase today, its value will be lesser in future. For example, you purchased a car for 5 lakh. Once you get it out of the showroom, you can't sell it for 5 lakh. It will be less than 5 lakh, maybe 4 lakh, 450,000 or whatever. So that's an obsolescence because it has become obsolete. It has become old. It's not a new car. So wear and tear might not have happened, but obsolescence is one thing, because you might have kept your car in the garage for 5 years. You can't sell it for 5 lakh after 5 years. You will be able to sell it for 4 lakh, 3 lakh or 2 lakh or whatever, depending on how new models have come. So for example, why depreciation is allowed? For that purpose, whatever reduction in the value of asset have happened every year, you will get a deduction of. Example, a machinery which is used over a period of time, its value will become nil after certain period of time, say 5 years, 6 years or whatever. So that cost of machinery, 5 lakh is the machinery cost, it will run for 5 years. So 1 lakh every year would be charged to your profit because it will be allowed as deduction, because every year you are reducing 1 lakh value of your machinery because you are using it, wear and tear is there, obsolescence is there. So that all things causing a cost to you. So that cost is charged over a period of its estimated life. For example, a machine has 5 years of life. Then it will be charged 5 lakh divided by 5. Now, since land does not depreciate, so as per the rules, no depreciation allowed on land. Have you heard of, you purchased a land of 10 lakh rupees, now you are not able to sell it for even 10 lakh. You will be definitely able to sell it for more than 10 lakh. So no depreciation happens in land, it only appreciates. There is no wear and tear in land. There is no obsolescence in land. Oh, this land is very old. No, this does not happen. Land is land. So that is what example of how depreciation and why depreciation is allowed. So in an income tax, block of asset concept is there. So depreciation is not charged asset wise. Like you have 5 computers. Now you will not charge depreciation to each computer. You will have to charge total. On all computers, single-handedly, one entry would be done for depreciation. So we won't see how many computers you have, how much total computers, total value is there. So group of asset falling in same class of assets. Computer, laptop are same class of asset. Computer, laptop, everything is same. It's the same class of asset on which same rate of depreciation is allowed, because depreciation on computer is also 40%, depreciation on laptop is also 40%. So it's the same class because same rate of depreciation is allowed. So same class, plant and machinery, same rate, 40%, group in the one asset, which is called block of asset. So depreciation would be charged on block of asset basis, not on individual asset basis. For example, all machinery which are depreciation at the rate 15% will be grouped together, will be claimed together, will be shown together. So that is what basic concept of depreciation. Now, what are the rates and all other things about depreciation? We will study in the next class. Oh, okay. I'll request. Someone asked me that the CAT exam date should be announced soon. So I would definitely request from your side to the authorities that they should inform you the exam date very soon. But let's see what they does. So this is all for today. If there are any queries, you can always let me know. I'm there till 6 p.m.